2 flights of the Twisted Hobbies 540 down, and it's time to fly the OG Timber, which is basically, I say the OG Timber, the Timber X, which is basically the OG Timber, just in different colors. That makes me happy. Refer to earlier assertions that I do not. Everybody got different hand-eye. Okay, so up, 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 and we are golden. Taking off. Justin mowed the field the other day, and I was so pleased. Very kind of him. He's our newest member. He's a local.
15.9 volts.
Works at a potato farm that deals with taters. That oh look, that's funny. He grows taters that are you know, not poisonous.
15.8 volts.
Is what I'm sharing with you. What do they call that when you're growing stuff that's non-poisonous? Anyway, they ship all over the world. That's kind of cool. You know, natural, no pesticides, that kind of stuff. What was I going to share with you?
15.5 volts.
Yeah, Ralph sent me a note and said, I about froze to death yesterday, I ain't coming out today, or now. He'll come out in the evening. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit earlier. Everybody's got a natural clock, and my natural clock is 0500. So the sun comes up here, it starts to come up civil twilight around 04, and it's pretty much up by 4:30. I've been here 29 days, and I have 108 days left.
15.8 volts.
Holy crap, how fast does time fly? That's horrifying. In about a month, little Ollie will be big enough to go out on the birch walk with us and you know, hike a mile or so, which is pretty cool. We're jazzed about that because we just love taking them dogs for a walk. Right now he just walks around the rig.
15.6 volts.
The joy I get just puttering around the sky, guys, you don't even know. And I get it, you know, the guys that just crave the action and want to poke holes in the sky. What? I finally found a black fly.
15.3 volts.
So the other guys will probably be coming out this afternoon, this evening. I think how that's going to work for me is I'm going to come out tomorrow morning again because I got the truck all loaded in, you know. Why not? And if there's somebody out here that wants to fly, great. If they don't, I understand completely. I always fly with my pals, but they're just around the world.
15.4 volts.
Did I miss anybody? McMoyer. Hi, all the new guys. A bunch of new guys that'll just post and run. I understand. Folks are a little, you know what I was thinking about doing is, I've got a Spectrum receiver and seeing about putting that in the
14.8 volts.
new Seawind that Ralph was kind enough to sell me, and then hand launch that joker. It's a meter. The Seawind is a meter, a little less, 40 inches, or maybe a little more, I don't know, but thereabouts, a little more. Timby. You know, George was reflecting on the beauty of UMXs, and I'm like, absolutely. It's electronic mass, is what it boils down to. And it makes it behave like a larger aircraft, and I love them. I just don't get to fly them. I'm never home. Timby. It's such a hassle. So this is what I did to sent me a wiring harness for ease of replacement of wings. He's really nice. Well, the downside about that behavior is I know you know how to make those things now, and he had indicated that he didn't have any more connectors for himself. So I bought a bag of them from Amazon, and I'll only use one set of connectors. And then I also went ahead and bought some servo extensions, and I mailed him
15 volts.
aforementioned parts and pieces, and asked him if he would go ahead and, when he solders himself a wiring harness, to solder me one too. And I did a self-addressed envelope as well, screwing my pal into making me a wiring harness. So that was nice.
Low battery.
Aw.
14.6 volts.
Look at that. Timby. What else? That's it. My wife and I are going to run around sleep deprived for the next month or so. But that's just how it works when you have a new puppy. And
15.1 volts.
we are proud. Ollie is just full of beans. Oh my God. I changed his name this morning to No. And it also gets changed to Mr. Thousand Teeth. Ellie is ambivalent, as you might imagine. Landing. Because she's been an only child for like 11 years. And she's had some other pups in her life, but yeah.
Throttle hold. Throttle hold.
So much like my buddy in the tube deep, shout outs. I'll go ahead and do the old walkie walk around of the Timber X ersatz. OG timber. You gotta get down low. See you in a minute. Bang. I was gifted the OG Timber X. I was gifted the A10 Warhog by he has no use for it. He ended up buying a lot, L-O-T, a bunch of
Throttle active.
a bunch of aircraft from kind of an estate sale, and he knew I liked the Warthog. I have one at home. This is the OG version, so this is the first one. I forget what they did wonderful to the other ones, but anyway, this thing flew unbelievably squirrely the other day, and as such, it was windy, but I think it's me, but whatever. So let's try this. If I murder it, you know, it's better than it sitting around my buddy's house. So yeah, I flew this the other day and it was terrible. Oh, number one, it's a little nose heavy. I think this is AMRC's favorite plane.
5 minutes.
I think. Okay, we gave it some instant trim. The fella that owned the plane before, he had put about a half a pound of epoxy in the nose because that is a weak spot for these aircraft.
Minutes.
Yeah, it doesn't float. I end up weighing out the battery, and the battery weighs appropriately. I bought a 1,000 milliamp battery, which is a little bit bigger than this thing normally uses. Yeah, let's not lose it now. And we were a little worried about the weight. Well, I refused to buy a $16 gram scale from our pals at Walmart. So they have a discount store here, $3. And I was all happy to see that the thing weighed properly. Oh, I am terrible at flying this. I wonder why. 'Cause I want it to float. And it does not. It needs gas. I've had a few EDFs, and by a few I mean just a few, and I forget that they want gas, you know. How lovely though. What I probably should do is program a little dual rates action on here, and when I give it the gas, it should
4 minutes.
give me some elevator, I don't know. But the other day, it was the last time I had flown one of these, but it had been 4 years. And it just was not working in the wind at all, even with ASICs. Brap. There's a little breeze over the trees. Brap. Yeah, it's funny. There's a breeze, and it just catches it. Huh. That was what was happening the other day.
Minutes.
40 or hard. McWarhog. I don't know if it was at the crash or not, but it had loosened up one of the vertical stabilizers, and I'd ended up finally, or I ended up gluing it. I also chipped a little tiny piece off the wing tip in its crash, and I fixed that as well. Warthog, why do you fly so poorly? It's probably because I fly so poorly. Maybe add a little expo. I don't know. I shall know. But it weighs out properly. Well, I know what I could do. I could, yeah.
2 minutes.
I say it weighs out. I actually never tested a CG. I'm using the original guy's mark. So maybe, I don't know, maybe try it forward. Warthog. You know, when I give it gas, it just vaguely acts like it's tail heavy. I'm not a great CG guy. These things are down to the millimeter where they want to be. So when I'm giving it gas, of course the nose pitches up a little more radically than I like. Oh, I got a breeze coming from my left, or my right, that is. This thing does not have telemetry. So maybe it's
1 minute.
Okay, so let's think this out. When I give it gas, the nose pitches up naturally. But that just may be what it do. So when I'm in the breeze again. Yeah, it has a natural rise, even when it's not in the breeze. What the hell is that noise? What's that mean? Landing. Oh, it was counting down, but not giving me a proper countdown. All right, we're going to consider that a success. And if I do fly it again this morning, what I may do, make sure there's no parts on the ground. What I may do is move the battery forward just a little bit. Back in a few. Man, it was good hanging out with Sean. No finer human being will you have the occasion to meet. That's not true. There's a bunch of them here, all of them, frankly. They're all neat personalities, and it's an honor to be able to hang out with them. It really is. All right, so let's do this, because the clock's getting away from me. I have flown everything out here, haven't I? Yeah, I've flown everything. Sean's funny. He goes, I was wondering how you carry all this stuff in your rig. And I go, yeah, you got to break it down. It's time to go to hang out with the spouse. Did I take the battery out of that thing? It'll yell at me if I didn't. No, forgot. Got ahead of myself. Yeah, just some of the nicest people. Just character, values, ethics, and morals. And turn your nose up on that if you want. But that's a massive component of what I like in people. Character, values, ethics, morals. And I'm not telling you to be super straight, stupid, and perfect. I'm just telling you I just need halfway decent humans in my life.
11.4 volts.
And when you come up here and you stumble into that amazing old nature, I've had to describe to people quite clearly that the reason I'm here is because of the climate and the people, in that order. Because I don't need people, but I sure do like the climate. And if you have the extra added bonus of getting to hang out with some of the most lovely people ever, it's so nice. I hate it that we've only got a dozen of us here at the club, but the reality is that I'd rather have this small club than my 250 members back home, that with people who have the character, values, ethics, and morals of a common shoebox. Yeah, not so much. So I'll give you an example. Sean said $1,500 for the puppy. I go, sold. He goes, $350 up front, and you can have the pick of the litter. I go, done. His wife was selling them for $12.50, and when I got out there to pay him, he goes, "Hey man, the $12.50. I'll go ahead and pay you the balance." And I go,
Low rates.
I go, hey, you don't have to do that. What is? I'm gonna have to pull that thing apart. Yeah, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to fly that. I'm gonna have to go in and pop that thing out of the wing. My aileron is becoming loose, and that's a hassle. So we're gonna use that as a sign. I'm done. Yeah, rats. I don't get that. What is causing that to move? Is it slipping inside? That's not good.
Low rates, high rates,
Yeah, that's
high rates,
wildly unacceptable.
low rates, middle rate,
Yeah, I can't have that. All right. So thanks for joining me out here.
0.7,
Lovely morning. I've flown for 2 hours, and I'm going to grab the spousal unit and the new puppy, and we're going to go to the farmer's market. And depending on how my afternoon goes, as far as rest, because I'm one of those human beings where the candle that burns twice as bright only burns half as long. So for you normal people out there who, yeah, I just don't know how that happens. I think it has somehow become loose inside, and I'm going to have to do surgery. Well, I'll do that at the house. These servo parts and pieces get loose inside, and I noticed it earlier, so, but not to that extreme. But anyway, being up in the night with the pups, and being a morning person who is up at 5, I will require a nap this afternoon, and I think my wife will as well, so I'm going to try to jam in the appropriate amount of rest between the two of us, and see if I can't come back out here today.
16.7 volts,
But that's a maybe. And even if I come out, I tend to demur and let everybody else fly, because I get to fly so much. Sean was just telling me, yeah, he just doesn't fly. So he's getting some planes ready to fly. It'd be neat to see him fly. I've never seen him fly. He's been a member of this club for over 40 years.
16.7,
He's one of the last original members of the club. And that's pretty freaking cool. He taught Ralph, my flying partner, how to fly 100 years ago. So that is, that's cool. High of 65 today, so most likely my stuff won't overheat in the back of the truck. I said most likely. And what I'm going to want to do, if the wife is sleeping, is I'm going to do wing surgery and figure out why I'm enjoying a messed up wing. But yeah, there again, if you're still there, because my battery is probably on the way out. Thanks for hanging out, and I really endeavor, if I have, even if I don't fly, I wouldn't mind slipping back out here. Can't bring the dogs because of the paraquat that's been sprayed on the club field. They're killing broadleaf plants, so it doesn't screw up our field. All right, y'alls. Taking enough of your abuse. See ya.
So he brings it out here. Then I did fly it the first time, and he flew it a couple times after I took it off and trimmed it. And I was right there telling him to get your finger on that right rudder, you know. Anyhow, I was flying it, and I was slipping the hell out of it in here, and he was watching my fingers the whole time. And then he had another little plane he'd take off, and he started playing around with slipping it.
How'd he do?
You don't have to do much on your rudder. You just rest
throttle
on it.
active, throttle
Push
active,
that tail over, and then run the rest with the wheel on.
12.5 volts,
And after a while, he was slipping the friggin' hell out.
Oh, no
of it.
kidding.
He was having a great time. He didn't want any lessons. He taught himself. But after he got to know me, he
Got comfortable.
wouldn't ask you. He's like, here, try that. And he would say,
He sounds like an amazing dude.
oh, he was. But if you crossed him, he would never talk to you.
stabilization
He's
on,
an ornery old guffer, but if he liked you,
12
he'd do
volts.
anything for you or give you shit.
I-
About a Mustang. He built a little 40 size Mustang, and he covered it with like cranberry colored fuselage. It was funny looking, but he flew it like once and said, "That's too fast for me." And hands me a transmitter. I flew it around for a few hours, and he says, "You want it? $50. Done."
What a great guy.
I had $350 in it.
But it's funny because between you and Ralph, neither of you have a bad thing to say about the guy. Nothing.
No. I got a lot of shit from him. That was my supplier of my airplanes for years.
I just wish I had that skill set. I don't have that skill set.
He's a master builder. That's all he wanted to do was build them. He didn't really fly them that much. For years he built. I got this big one Cessna, 172 Cessna that he built. It was gorgeous.
And by big, what do we mean here?
10-foot wing. Probably.
God Almighty!
And it had the control panel, all the little knobs and shit in there. Had more friggin' detail in it, but it weighed like 50 pounds. It didn't fly for shit.
It's too heavy.
It took me a couple tries. I stole out all the pieces. It was so
Underpowered for its weight.
At first, when he built airplanes, he'd say, "Oh, that ain't rugged enough spar." He'd put basswood or something in there that was 3 times as heavy.
So he
built an airplane that weighed about 500 pounds. Holy shit!
He just didn't have that whole weight
He
thing.
didn't have the. He was a good builder, but
Wasn't conscious of
only
the
to
weight.
look at.
Yeah.
So then
11.5 volts.
we got some of them flying in good shape. He started building them. Actually, one of them, that T-craft, he put actually Sitka spruce that I had for an airplane I was building at home. And he put those spars in that because Sitka spruce is real light, but it's really strong. That's what real airplanes have, spars.
That's the only reason I know that name, because real airplanes use it.
Well, our little T fly baby, that's all Sitka spruce, the whole airplane. People get the wrong idea. Wood is a very strong airplane
What do you think?
component because it takes vibration and it takes a little flexion where steel tubing will crack it
It's
and fatigue after a while.
You know, I became kind of a World War II historian,
11.3.
and I've seen the ME-262 standing right next to it,
Huh.
and it's made out of wood.
Spruce goose, made out of wood.
Do you know what pissed him off about that, Howard? Is that it wasn't made out of spruce.
Oh, yeah?
It was it was made out of wood.
Yeah.
But the news named it that, and Howard Hughes was eccentric, as we know. He's mad that people dubbed it the spruce
11.3
goose.
volts.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, all the Germans didn't have any strategic metals, and they were building some amazing stuff out of wood.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, so were the Brits. What was the Spitty made out of? Just amazing. What they made out of wood. Man, I sure appreciate you coming by. I might see y'all this evening. So you're gonna fly something this evening? Is that what you said? I might see you this evening.
$13 carburetor. I had to re-rig the throttle a little bit because the thing was like a pain. The shaft going through the throttle was bigger than the other one, and I had to drill the arm out.
Landing. You know what pool noodle?
Ralph Seaway.
Throttle hold. Throttle hold. 11.
I didn't know he had a sea wind.
They had one for sale. I was like, geez, I ought to buy that because those are fun on snow.
I bought it.
You did?
I have one at home, but not the same brand. So I bought it from him. He posted it on the little Facebook website.
Make me a U man or something.
I
11.4 volts.
again.
So I taught Ralph how to fly.
Sean's gonna sit in the truck and have his coffee and just watch. So let's move on. We're going to go to
Throttle active.
We're going to go on over to Ellie. Ellie has been nothing shy of amazing. See, this thing is just wonky. See, it shouldn't go back. You have to give it forward.
8.3 volts.
Ellie has been stellar. She was a spaz though, and she gets so excited around other dogs that what would end up happening was they would think that she's a threat, and they'd freak out and try to bite her. And then when something tries to bite her, she's like, "Man, something's trying to bite me." So she would, respond in kind, and that was horrifying. So she spent most of her life without being around other dogs. That's just how it worked.
8.3 volts.
Love this thing. Terrible yaw and all. I need to bring my FPV goggles out here and just fly at FPV for fun. Terrible FPV camera that's in there. Well, really, I don't think it's a camera because I've flown the little timber with it, but where it's placed, it's negligible.
8.2 volts.
Oh, look at that. Hold on. What is that? Sean, shame on you. We're in love already. I ain't had that thing a week. We're in love. I gave him like 3,000 smooches already.
Yeah, that's what gets 3,000 smooches and still won't shut up in the kennel. Bark all night long.
She, or he does real well. He, Sherba, her natural clock is to go to bed at 11:30, so she puts him to bed at 7. It pulls up the water about 6. We do that for Ellie.
Yeah.
And then we put him in bed at 7, and then she pees him at 10:30, and then I get up at 2 a.m. and pee him, and he's gone 3 hours without peeing. He does great. He raises hell when you put him in the kennel, but
Normal helicopter controls.
no, it's terrible. It's got a nanny on here that's just, here's my total yaw. I hate it. It's a really nice helicopter, don't get me wrong. It's my favorite. But I used to fly helicopters. That's my yaw control. This was made for beginners. They sell one without a radio for $130. This one, very same one.
7.9 volts.
And a friend of mine, George, bought it, and it's so squirrely that he has a hard time with it. It got total yaw control. But as a model, it is cool as all get out. And I mean, they're just so detailed.
Yeah. Neat.
This is what I wanted 15 years ago, and they didn't make them. What's that one's name? Or does it?
Hey, you.
Hey, you? Now he's gone, right?
Yeah. This one's going to Rhode Island.
Wow.
So, her sister lives right in the dooryard there, in that house when you drive up. Out on the corner
7.8.
there.
Oh yeah.
And she went the other day. She went to the barn and took him home, thinking she'd take care of him for a week before her sister come to get him. And
Couldn't have it.
last night.
Yeah, couldn't have it. It's a commitment.
Oh yeah, ain't nothing hard about it. She ran around the farm with me all day yesterday, freaking around.
It's funny. I tell people it's like having a 3-year-old, and if you've had kids,
What's this? What's this? What's this?
then you need to
What's
yeah.
that, Can I chew it?
Ooh,
Can
buddy,
I
I
eat
bet so he likes laying Sherba, rightly so. We need to crate train him.
volts,
Well, he likes to lay down between our lounge chairs and sleep. Well, last night at 2 a.m. I get up and he goes out and he pees immediately. He's amazing. You go, let's go potty, and he
Hit
pees.
the grass, go.
And he you can tell him. He's like Ellie. He pees on command. I mean, he's really smart. Like, it's shocking how smart they are.
Feed him and poop almost instantly.
Instantly. So, guess what? Your old
Remember
pal,
last night he's running around the house. He went under the table and
Bi-
cracked him about
bigger-
2 seconds later.
bigger than crap.
low
I
battery,
forget. I don't lock the crate right, and I notice he was quiet. And I get up the next morning,
He's
and
already been out and done it.
he went to sleep between the
5
chairs,
volts,
and
low
he didn't
battery,
tear up anything at all.
throttle home,
Nice and soft.
low battery,
And that's why. That's the thing.
No, I go get dental work too.
And that's why I don't care for these as much as I do the ones I used to fly. But the ones I used to fly are ugly. The pod and boom is ugly.
Yeah, I got silver ribbon.
low battery,
Well, I want to died in a boat accident, and all the good with the bad and the bad with the good.
4 minutes,
I was an agent, so we didn't go to work every day, rank and file, and have to do this, that, or the other. And I made 100% certain I spent as much time with baby Ellie as I possibly could get away with, because of the flexibility of my job. Well, now we got Ollie 24/7, and that is awesome. An absolute blessing. That's my total authority. And it's slow, but nothing like the
3
Huey.
minutes,
MD500. Yeah, I don't collect things to collect them. I collect them to use them. If they don't get used, they get gone. I tell you what, I'm not as disciplined as I sound about it. But what's fixing to happen is when I get home, there's going to be some airplanes placed out on the old free table at my club that I'm fixing to not be a member of anymore. And the number one on that chopping block is an airplane that I love to hate, and that was a Convergence. So this is the full-size Convergence, and my buddy had the small one and drilled it into a fence. That was ooh, 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 ooh. And it vaporized it, by the way. It was spectacular. I hate to see it happen, but come on now. That was a good one. I never fly it, and I've flown about 107, 108 flights on it. 105 of them were by FPV only, not line of sight. It was terrible. It had a flaw that
throttle home,
the way it worked was, which I don't know, I'm going to end up killing the battery on this thing. I'm probably just talking to myself. But the way it worked was when you transitioned from hover, it was a three-bladed drone, basically, that converted from a drone to an airplane. And it excuse me, during the transition they told you to keep your fingers off the sticks. Well, that's a hard thing to do if you're flying at line of sight. You don't want to take your fingers off the stick. It's not natural. So what ended up happening was
throttle warning, switch warning, middle ring,
what ended up happening was
stabilize,
I couldn't keep my fingers off the controls, and when you did that, it really screwed with its flight control. Holy crap. So there he is. We'll be back for more in a minute.
Low battery. Battery critical.
I love these helicopters. I do. That's why I spent $81 on a box to protect. I think what I ended up with, I told y'all,
Binding.
cost me about, I don't know. It's under $600 for all 3 helicopters and batteries and
Throttle active.
that stuff. So I'm all happy that I spent my money properly. Now, this is battery number 5. And as AMRC figured out, it's a toss-up whether it's going to work for a while or not, the batteries. I haven't really been looking at prices on here. I did look the other day. The George special was $135 to the door, but I'm a little concerned. I don't know how they're going to charge tariffs. So do you have to pay COD when it comes? Is it part of the price? I don't know. I haven't been buying anything since the tariffs. Not from overseas. When I tell you that I love these damn helicopters, I mean it. They end up they you just fly them anywhere. The helicopter, come on, it's not the low. Let's see how far downfield. I haven't really flown this thing when it was dead calm. They're pretty good. I mean, it didn't yell at me or anything. I don't know that it would. Look at that. Chop, 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 chop. I'm 12. And understand this. I really enjoy just flying it back and forth. There's a big old raven. Quote the raven nevermore. Big old solitary creatures. So yeah, little Ollie's doing great. He just requires an enormous amount of attention, as you might add. I've already been through this. Did I already share this with you? My first dog as an adult was Maggie, M-A-G-G-I-E. She was a beautiful yellow lab, and I say Maggie, Abby, and she was the daughter of my buddy's dog Maggie, and I loved Maggie. And Abby had barely had her long enough to get to love her. I went down to my buddy's house and had a sleepover. We were working, and there was another guy there with his crap dog, and his crap dog got out, and my dog followed and got herself killed. Hit on the highway. It was just horrifying. My kid was maybe 5. I'm having to explain to him the concept of death. And that was actually pretty interesting because I told him that Abby had ran away. And now keep in mind, I'm not 30 years old when this happened. My boss at the time was a sage old country guy, and he goes, "What'd you tell your boy about your dog?" I said, "Well, I told him that he ran away," and he goes, "You don't do that. Dying's part of living." Baby. Die, and he's still alive. Tom Croft, one of the most influential people in my life. Look at that, the little bastard banks a little bit. It's insane. Baby, living's part of dying, dying's part of living. He needs to understand that. You're shrifting him. I go, you know what? You're right, Tom. So I told him, and I didn't understand until later that children don't understand death until around the age 8. So you can tell them anything. But sure enough, he goes, "Okay," and that was it. My buddy's wife found Abby on the side of the road. We were having to work, and I couldn't devote time for looking for her. And She says, you want me to get her? And I go, no. I was with now a dead reservist with these guys that would work for us for free. They're crazy. I think it banks a little bit if you kind of haul ass with it. That was $37 to the door. Now, of course, I bought more batteries, that sort of thing, but batteries are cheap as beans. I love that little spotlight. I love it so much I bought one for my Huey. It'll be here in about 3 weeks. Well, this battery works. So I picked Abby up off the side of the road and I buried her, and
2 minutes.
it was in our management area, these giant pieces of property that State of Florida owns, and this one was 55,920 acres, about 150 square miles, and there was a no-name road, and I buried her on that, and I named it appropriately Abbey Road. That was, I don't know, guys, 28 years ago? Ugh. No, it'd been longer than that because I've been retired for 8 years. So 36 years ago? Ish. Holy crap. And see, I don't know how y'all's memory works, but it occurred to me earlier in life that I have a unbelievable memory for events. Now, if you ask me to add 3 numbers together, you're going to be in trouble, but I remember stories. I think the way humans are designed, much like we're designed to love dogs, we're also love stories.
1 minute.
I'm digging my lights. They're so bright. Let's give this battery a break. So I have a brilliant memory for events. There he goes. He's blinking now. And I can see Abby just like yesterday. So the first dog was Abby.
30 seconds. Throttle hold.
And we'll pick up from there with the MD500. Gosh, that was amazing. Almost, how long? Well, I didn't set my timer. I gotta set the timer appropriately on here. I've not done that right. Let's see, well, let's just hang out for a hot swap, shall we? So what ended up happening was Abby died, and we went 3 years without a dog, and we hated it. But we also loved it because we could actually go flying and doing stuff, and, you know, because you don't have a 3-year-old with you all the time. Whew, starting to get hot. Excuse me. Oh, I'm so sorry. Now that I have a few ladies listening, I hate that, but you know, what are you gonna do? So MD500, I'm up here with the bell. We need to be down with it. I need to do some housekeeping here and put the helicopters on their own
Throttle warning.
list.
Switch warning.
This thing allows you wonderfully to put stuff on a list. And right now it's on favorites, but I need to go put it on helicopters. So my buddy, I have a bunch of buddies, not so much anymore, they're dead or moved on. And the one buddy had a friend who was on their second child, so they're gonna have 2 in diapers, and they have two dogs. One's a black lab, and I forget the other one.
Binding. Throttle active.
Just want to see if I got a timer. Okay, I got a timer on this one. MD500, McDonnell Douglas, formerly McDonnell Douglas. Neither of these two, these are ERARC aircraft. Neither of them have really heavy nanny boards on them compared to that effing Huey, which I just love. I'm gonna pass out here, smell of it. So what? Next dog. 3 years without a dog. We were flying places, and because we take dogs seriously. So if the dog can't go, for the most part, we don't. Now, of course, there's a exception to that. We had to. My wife and I never been to Europe, and we had to. I mean, I was regretful, but I had to do it. I love Ellie, and I had a great time with her. But for 67 days, my son took care of her while we fulfilled our dream about this time last year, going to Europe and seeing some of the most amazing things you only saw on video, on film. The Arc de Triomphe, Mona Lisa, the Eiffel Tower. Be careful, Mr. Bain. It won't kill you, but it'll lacerate you. So my buddy found a family that was being overwhelmed by their current situation with 2 dogs, fixing to have another kid. So I would find out that they regretfully wanted to get rid of Allie. And by the way, her name was Allie, short for alligator. She was amazing.
8 minutes.
She was 9 months old when we got her. She was feral because these people kept their dogs outside. They made a mistake. I made the mistake early on with Abby. I grew up, dogs are outside. So I put Abby outside, and she immediately ate every plant that was in the backyard, and dug it into a moon crater. And I told my buddy this. I said, "Your dog's defective." He goes, "Well, does she do anything in the house?" I go, "I don't know. I don't keep the dog in the house." He goes, "You idiot! They're social creatures, like a monkey. You need to have them in the house. And if you're not willing to do that, then you really don't need a dog." So we brought her in the house, and she calmed right down. Well, Allie had not been in the house either. She was with ostensibly rednecks, and as such, we MD500. As
7
such,
minutes.
she had calmed down as well, and she became a part of our family. And my son grew up with that dog until he left the house. And when she died, I wasn't home. I was at a music festival. My wife, she is the queen of lamenting. And she's like, "Oh, we didn't love our dogs, like we did." So don't get confused. There's Abby, Allie, Ellie, and now Ollie. Right? We didn't take care of Allie as well as we did Ellie. And I go, "Yeah, you can't do that to yourself. You continue to grow." And I think I expressed to you guys on many occasions what an honor it is to be able to have Ellie with us 24/7 these last 8 years. It is a relationship that unless you
6 minutes.
spend time just with your dog, that you'll never understand. Never understand. It's like, it is simpatico. So Sherba was sharing with me yesterday what an absolute joy it is to have Ollie with us as a puppy, because I'm sure I mentioned this. So I need to oil these things. I brought some sewing machine oil. So Ellie, it's just amazing the blade tracking on these things. It was George the other day. It was knocking down leaves with your rotor blades. What is wrong with you, maniac? Anyway, we
5 minutes.
we weren't able to hang out with Ellie when she was a baby puppy like we were doing with Ollie, but I was mostly able to. My job paid for crap, but man, it was an amazing gig. Just, young men want to do it and old men wish they'd have done it. Just an amazing job. And had great benefits, from leave to, frankly, hiding money from the federal government legally by mechanisms that the state of Florida allows. So I walked away, even though I didn't make a whole lot of money day to day, I walked away with a great sense of career and, preserving Florida's waterways and wildlife and fisheries, and having to tell people their daughter, I mean, it's not going to do any good sitting in the box. I moved it a fraction of a millimeter forward because right now it's flyable, right? I had 57% battery left, which is cool. And yeah, let's fly it while the iron's hot, as they say.
Throttle hold. Throttle active.
Woo, woo, it says. Here the ASIC's working. Once you bring it up past, make sure we're good there. Once you bring it up past half, it'll kick that in. All right, let's try it again. Chuck. I think that's it. I think I figured it out. You got to give it gas no matter what. But its tendency to
5 minutes.
want to pitch up is reduced
Timer 2
significantly.
elapsed.
Wait, now didn't I just put another? I thought I just reset that timer. Yeah, much nicer. So just something as simple as moving it a millimeter or so makes it significantly less squirrely in the air. I gotta remember that. So the dude's battery mark with his batteries, yeah, isn't that nice? Oh, it's so nice. Yeah, it was tail heavy. But of course, AMRC probably already knew that. He flies a crap out of his. Well, thank you. Ooh, 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 ooh. This turned out really nice. I mean, if I murder it, I won't, feel really bad because it ain't sitting in a box in your garage. And I have another one.
4 minutes.
I love these things. There's a picture of me and my wife standing right next to one out in Arizona. Holy crap, my wife and I have done so much in the last 8 years. I just can't even share with you how I'm so joyed that we were able to go into retirement almost a decade now, 2,600 days. Yeah, so that's a whole lot better. Fabulous. Fabulous. I actually never had to trim it to speak of. 40 McWarthog. Oh man. Well, you get that CG right on these little things. This is not the stock battery. This is a 1,050 milliamp battery I got out of China because I wanted a form factor that would fit and also some more milliamps. You know what I mean? Need some milliamps.
3 minutes.
Noisy little joker, ain't it? Yeah, it's trimmed out properly. Just had to move McBattery face. This thing, I think, weighed 3 or 4 more grams than the OG battery. Because I actually went to the website, found out how much their battery weighed that they recommended on this one when it was new. And then I weighed this one, and it was right. The Chinese were right when they weighed it. Woody McWarthog.
2 minutes.
I love UMX. I have a UMX B-17 bomber. Holy crap. That young man, Lanter 8 or whatever, he, I don't know, had a grandparent die and they wanted to drop his ashes or whatever. Anywho, he ended up buying a B-17, you know, one of the big ones. I always wanted one of those from Hobby King, but I just never bought one. I was getting towards retirement and I knew that, I mean, you're talking about everything sits for months. I can't carry a big B-17 with me. And really, I don't have room for the little one. I bought that from an estate sale, and that dude, he didn't have any boxes. So you risk, you know, these things are very fragile. I mean, I hazard to share with you how unbelievably fragile they are. You know, so you're not wanting to beat the thing to death, you know, right?
1 minute.
Oh, actually having a good time. Yeah, it floats now. So if I can have it when it's time, I want a lesser unceremonious landing. Look at that. Effing cool. Guys, I do not have any more room for airplanes. I'm talking none. Ralph had the Seawind in the box, and I was, there's your countdown. I was able to put the Seawind in the box, in my closet, in my rig, and holy crap. I was shocked because I have this one in the box in the rig. Thank God I have such a large rig. And I guess there's worse problems than being airplane poor, but I'm telling you guys, I live in a wobbly box. All that may change. You know, my son and his wife are working diligently on giving me an Air, and as such, I got a black fly under my effing glasses. As such, that will change the trajectory of our lives, my wife and I. So we're praying that, you know, things work out in such a way where we can continue to be on the road. Landing.
Throttle hold.
See you in a minute.